Shalom Aleichem. Welcome to the weekly Breslov Parshas Shia. This week's coming Shabbos is Parshas Vayeira. Vayeira speaks about the angels coming to Avraham while he was recuperating from the Milah. And they told him that Sarah will give birth to a child. Then we have the angels also were sent on a mission to destroy the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah. Why? Because they were so immoral that they had to be destroyed. And the Gemara says that wherever you find idolatry and immorality, you will find destruction. So Sodom and Gomorrah had to be wiped out. But Lot was living there. Lot was Avram's nephew. And in a way, though he was the complete opposite of Avram, he had some merit. So the angel was sent to save him, take him and his children, whoever remained. And they left. They took them out of Sodom. And from his two daughters, Lot was so immoral, he stayed with his daughters. And he had two sons, one from each. One begat the nation of Moab, the other begat the nation of Ammon. And that's how Sodom produced two nations. And the Pasuk says, Motzosi David Avdi. I found my servant David. The Medrash asks, where did Hashem find David? And the Medrash answers, he found him in Sodom. In Sodom, in the depths of immorality, that's where Hashem found David. How? Because King David came from the nation of Moab. His great-grandmother, Ruth, progenitor of King David, she came from Moab. And Moab started where? In Sodom. In the depths of immorality, Hashem found the soul of King David. The Arizal explains that many times there's a great soul, a very great soul, someone like King David, and it has to come out into the world. But in order for it to come out into the world, it's got to have a way of coming forth. But his soul was so great, the opposition from the angels, the destructive angels in heaven, was so powerful, they would have stopped King David. So what? Hashem caused the nations of Moab to become a real nation, and through them came Rus. What happened is that the other side, the destructive angels, said, oh, here's a completely immoral, totally disgusting kind of a child, an illegitimate child. Everything is so messy here. So we're going to allow the soul to come down through this pathway. Why? Because such a soul, if it comes into such impurity, is where it's going to be destroyed. So the other side, the destructive angels, supports such evil, such immorality. And specifically through this immorality comes out the great souls of all the tzaddikim For instance, Rabbi Akiva, he came from converts. Shmaya and Eftalion, who were the Rebbes of Hillel, they were converts. And so on and so forth. The souls of converts, says the Ari, are very, very great. The souls of those who have fallen into such steep immorality, such disgusting places, they're actually very great souls. Very great souls. And it's up to us, if we cultivate the belief in Hashem, ultimately those souls will come back to Hashem and they will reverberate with Hashem. And that's why the story of Lot is put next to the story of Avram when Sarah gave birth to Yitzchak. Great souls. They can come through tzaddikim and they can come through very immoral sources. But they come. They will come out in the world and they will do the job that they're supposed to do in order to help bring the world to recognize Hashem. So we have in this Parsha the birth of immorality, and we also have in this Parsha the birth of Yitzchak, our forefather, our patriarch Yitzchak, right? It was the first Jewish birth. Avram was the first convert, and Yitzchak was the first Jewish birth, and he received the bris milah on the 8th day, like it's supposed to be. And naturally, right away, as soon as Yitzchak was born, Yishmael stood up against him, as Rashi explains. You have in chapter 20, chapter 19, 20, you find the story of Yishmael rising up against Yitzchak. He tried to kill him. What's new? What is new? When did Yishmael not try to kill Yitzchak? Or when did the Arab not try to kill the Jew? So this is the story of our lives. The Torah is telling us that we have tremendous souls. They may come from immoral places. And the left, the immorality that's found there with the woke and all that kind of stuff, there are tremendous souls in there. We have to pray for them. We have to hope and pray that the great tzaddikim, such as Avram, Yitzchak, they put forth their prayers in order to help all of us come back and find Hashem. Which is why the Parsha ends with the story of the Akedah, the sacrifice, the binding of Isaac, as it's known, right? Because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Hashem told Avram, I'm going to bring forth a nation from Yitzchak for your children. And then Avram Avinu is going to the binding of Isaac, the binding of Yitzchak. He goes to the mountain. He takes his only son, who he waited 100 years for. Now he's 137 years old. Yitzchak was 37 at the time. And he takes him, he binds him, and places him upon the altar in order to sacrifice him. So the Pasuk says, the Medrash says, Vayeira hamokom merochik. He saw the place from afar. What does it mean he saw it from afar? He was looking, here it is, an altar, and I'm going to take my son Isaac and I'm going to kill him, because Hashem told me I'm going to have a great nation come from him. Contradictory. And then he sees, Meirachok, from the distance, from afar, he sees that on that same Temple Mount, there's going to be a temple, and the Jews are going to bring sacrifices and they're going to serve Hashem on that same mountain that he's about to kill Yitzchak and wipe out all future generations. Contradictory. We can't understand this. This is Hashem's way of doing things. Things look very contradictory to us. But we have to know that from afar, Hashem has already seen us in exile, the great souls that we have, the immortal souls that we have. He's seen it all, and He's bringing it all together so that we could all come together and serve Hashem. Amen v'amen. Have a great Shabbos.